This video is going to show you how you can set up the vector screen in Germ Guide, and it's very similar to the other two screens that we will be working with, crowding and Waterborne. So let's start right away. First thing I want to do is come over here into the properties in the vector screen. You can see here we have this vector screen title label. I don't want that there, so I'm going to, in properties, make it invisible. And I am also going to get rid of the status bar. That's up to you. You can keep it if you want, but for now, I'm going to get rid of it. The other thing we want to do here, again, with vector screen selected, is change up some of the alignment options. So horizontally, this is left to right. I want to assign that to center. And vertical, I will keep it as it is, aligned to the top. Okay, so you can see here now, what MIT has given us is a horizontal arrangement, and a horizontal arrangement is going to think about it like a box, and everything that goes into a horizontal arrangement will flow from left to right. We also have the back button already placed here for us, and I'm just going to make one change here. I want to change the text color from default to white so that it's easier to see. Click the save button. And now we've got a much nicer looking button. You know what? I'm going to change this up a little bit too. And from shape, I'm going to give it rounded corners because I just like that. And there we go. So what do we have next to put onto the screen? We have three elements that are going to appear to your users. One is the title of the screen, and there are going to be two buttons. We want these elements to flow up to down. So we are going to come into layout and find a vertical arrangement. Drag this onto the screen and we can see it right here, and because we have aligned our vector screen, our topmost parent, everything is going to be centered within there. So for the vertical arrangement, we are going to change some of the properties here, and you can see the properties on the handout. First thing I want to do, horizontal alignment, I want to put that into center. Background color from default, I'm going to change it to none so that the black of our background or your gradient will stick out. Aligning to the top is fine. For width, I'm going to fill the parent so we don't have any surprises. Filling the parent makes the width of this particular box fill the entire width of the item that is being contained. In this case, it is the vector screen, so we've got basically a 100% filling of the screen space. Now inside of here, we're going to put two user interface elements. The first is a label, and keep in mind that a label contains text, so I'm going to drop that in here. And the other thing I want to point out is you also have a text box. You do not want to use the text box. The text box here is something that your user can type into. So we don't want to use that. We just want to use a label, and we're going to put some text inside of there. So the text that we're going to put in here for the vector screen, and we're going to be using the properties over here on the right hand side. So first of all, let's change the text color from default to white so that we can see it. And don't forget to hit save. And now we've got some text in here. Now to change the text in the label, you have to do it. It is a property of the text box. So the text for this label is going to be vector borne diseases. Hit enter and clean up any typos, if any. Okay. Next thing we have to do here is change some of the properties of this title label. So what we are looking at first, we are looking, well, we can make the font bold. That looks pretty good. Font size, I'm going to change the font size to 30. I am going to change the height of the box to 80 pixels. Make sure you check off the pixels box, and you have to hit OK. The width, automatic is going to be fine. Automatic means that the box, if necessary, will stretch to accommodate the contents. We have vector-borne diseases for text. We're going to align the text in the center, and it is visible. And I think that's pretty much all we need to do for our label. Now, next up, we've got two buttons we have to bring in. And we're going to have 2 buttons on each one of these secondary screens. So in user interface again, just drag in a button and notice the blue line. This tells us that we are getting inside of the vertical arrangement. Button 1, drag in another one. Button 2, watch that line, make sure you get them right inside of that vertical arrangement. You can tell if you look over here, we have vertical arrangement, and indented we've got label 1, button 1, and button 2. First thing we're going to do, rename the buttons. It's very important to rename your stuff so that you know exactly what it is when you go to program it. So inside of the vector-borne diseases, we have 2 buttons. We are going to rename this one to malaria. And we're going to also tell us that it's a button. And, misspelled again. Not that it matters, programming, but we want to be nice, neat, and tidy. Next button here is going to be the dengue fever button. I'm just going to call it dengue fever, D-E-N-G-U-E button. Okay, so now we've got 2 buttons properly named. And now we've got some properties for these buttons. So for background color, we're going to change it to black, or whatever the primary color in your gradient might be. Font size, we're going to change this over here to 20. Typeface default is fine. We are going to set a width for this button of 50%, which means it's going to be half the width of its container. Okay. Coming down, we do have images. You should have already brought in your gradients from Figma. But for me, I'm going to use the button image that came with the AIA file. Shape, I like to make it rounded. Text alignment center is fine. Text color, I'm going to change this to white. And there we go. There's our second button. And the next thing we need to do is put some text on this button. And we are looking down here at the text. And this one is going to be dengue fever, D-E-N-G-U-E. F-E-V-E-R. Okay, and we're going to do the same with the malaria button. Again, background color, going to make it black. Be sure to hit the save button. Font size, 20. The height, automatic. The width, again, this is going to be 50%. Image I'm going to use here, the one that came with the AIA file, buttonimage.ping, hit OK. Alright, we're getting here now. Change the text on the button to malaria. And text color, we're going to make it white. Don't forget to hit the save button. And also I am going to round the corners. Okay, so now we've got new here, vertical arrangement. It's got a label on the inside and 2 buttons. Finally, we need to bring in players. Players are going to hold a sound for us so that when we click on a button, we will play a sound. The players are down here on the left-hand side. Look under media, and we're going to use 2 of them. So drag in player. And the thing about the player, as you can see here on the screen, these are non-visible components, which means you don't see them on the screen, but they are necessary to hold a sound. So first thing we're going to do here, again, rename. So this one is going to be malaria player. And the reason why you want to put the word player in with these things as well as the word button is because you can only have one thing with one name. So if you name everything malaria, it's not going to work. So I'm going to change this one to D-E-N-G-U-E player. Okay, so now we've got 2 players. And the last thing we need to do, think of the players as a box, as a container. These containers are, for us, in this instance, are going to contain MP3 files. So with my dengue player selected, I'm looking over here at source, and I'm going to assign the source dengue fever MP3, and similarly over here The source for the malaria player is going to be malaria MP3. So there we go. We have our interface ready. Last thing we need to do here is set up the buttons so that you can actually click on them to play the sound. So we're going to come over here in the upper right hand corner, look for the blocks button. I will click here, and now you can see we've got a little bit of code already here. We have a back button, and there's the internal back button, and also we have an explicit back button which is at the top of the screen. But we are looking to do stuff with our malaria and dengue buttons. So to start, over on the left hand side, click on malaria. You can see here we have an event when malaria button click. That is what we want. And what we want this to do is play the malaria player. So if you click malaria player, you will scroll down a little bit and you will find these purple blocks. We are going to have the malaria player start. Okay? Next, we are going to do the same thing with the dengue fever. So you can either click on it here and look for when dengue fever clicked up here. Or if you want to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to 2-finger tap on the whole click, duplicate here, and notice we have an error because you can only have one button with one click. So we need to change the name of malaria button to dengue button, and then we're going to change the dengue player to start. There we go. So a challenge for you. What I want to see if you can set up this code so that when you click on the malaria button, you tell the dengue player to stop, and vice versa. When you click on the dengue button, can you get the malaria player to stop so that you only have one sound playing at a time? Additionally, let's try this with the back buttons. When you click on the back button, you would like the sound to stop. So when you're using vector screen back pressed or when back button pressed, can you set those up so that both malaria and dengue players stop? Have at it.